1, 2, 3, 4. All right, welcome back to Country and Cold Cans. I'm Logan, sitting here with Kyle and Trucker Andy. But you know what? Breaking news this week is not Bad Take Kyle, it's Bad Take Andy. Because we got to lead off the show with this. Because before we started clicking record, Andy just was
dropping nukes.
As a born and bred Southern man that he is, even though he's ashamed of being Southern, he just made the most idiotic comment that I think that I've ever heard him say. And this is the guy that told me one time that what he does when he's drunk is none of his business.
Yes.
Well, that
Andy,
makes sense.
why don't you repeat it while we're recording for the world to hear your bad take for this week?
The bone-in fried chicken, which people typically refer to as
That's
fried
not what you
chicken.
said.
Now he's clarifying.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, this was the whole point. People, when they say fried chicken, they're talking about chicken legs, thighs, breast.
Yeah, because it's
Chicken
fantastic.
legs are fine. Chicken legs and wings are fine. If you're not eating chicken legs or wings, there should not be bones in chicken. This
You don't
is
like breasts?
2022. Who does? It's too fucking hard to eat.
Guilty as charged.
It's
not
extra
too hard to
meat.
eat. You take, if it's done well, you just you just stick your finger at it, you know?
And on top of that, though,
Unintended.
It's too much fucking work.
A chicken thigh is one of the best parts of the fried chicken.
No, the best part is the chicken tender that you can dip in a sauce cup.
Well, that comes typically from chicken breasts.
Yes. Andy,
Well, they should just get rid of the bones and give it to me in a chicken tender.
But needless to say,
needless
to say, Andy was just trying to make the comment that he said that we need to be done with this fried chicken shit, and that fried chicken is we've evolved past that as a society. One thing I have a pet peeve when Andy didn't say this, but I have a pet peeve when people are like, "It's 2022," and then they proceed to have one of their preconceived notions about some topic and be like, how can people still eat fried chicken in 2022? That's why, because fried chicken is delicious.
It's fucking good.
Do you still want to churn your butter with a fucking wood stick?
That's not even
You just go to the
remotely
store
same
and get a
thing.
stick of butter. We have evolved. It's easier to eat chicken tenders. It's night and day easier.
You sound like a child right now.
Do you know what the risk is of eating
You made
a bone
fun of me for
with
getting
chicken tenders?
Andy, I
None.
bet you were 27 years old and still getting the chicken tenders off the kids menu.
Yeah, well,
No,
the kitchen
that's
is
Logan.
different. I order the adult chicken tenders. Andy, you can't make fun of me ever again for the Tulsa, Oklahoma trip when I eat chicken tenders for dinner, considering that you're advocating a moratorium on classic Southern fried chicken in favor of chicken tenders. You've lost your right to make that accusation against me now.
Nah, I'm not going with that.
Yeah,
This guy ordered. We're at a nice looking bar.
we were at a bar. Let's not sit here
But
and
it's
pretend like
still
we
a
had
bar.
5-star dining. We were at
But
a
this
bar
is
in
a
Tulsa,
nice
Oklahoma.
bar.
No,
It's not just
I have to sympathize. Now, all right, let's get some background facts here. Was it more bar or a restaurant with a bar?
It was a big bar, and then against the wall they had tables.
So it was more bar than
It's more
restaurant.
bar.
It's half and half.
Okay,
Half
So-
bar, half tables.
so more bar. Okay. I consider like a restaurant that is if the bar is the central feature. Did it
It's
have
like
bar?
it's a skinny building. The bar is up against the wall to the right, and it's tables to the left.
It
Well,
probably was called
well-
some type of tavern. So a tavern is a bar. It's
Yes,
And it's
yes.
clean.
So it is a bar. Okay. So it wasn't a dive bar, but it's still more bar.
No, it was a bar though.
Okay, more bar.
And-
So in Logan's defense, let's be honest, bar food is somewhat suspect. They made an entire show about it. John, whatever his name is, has made $1 million off of it.
But they had like normal foods on the menu, like dinner foods that come on plates. And he orders
What did my chicken
whiskey-
tenders come in?
He
They came
ordered
on a plate.
whiskey and Mountain Dew and chicken tenders and mac and cheese.
Diet Mountain Dew.
I see nothing at all wrong with that selection of food.
That's children's food. You eat that in private.
You just
You eat that at
advocated.
home.
You just advocated not eating fried chicken in favor of chicken tenders, and then suddenly it's so. You need to tell us now, bad take, Andy. When is it acceptable to eat chicken tenders, and when is it not? Because God knows, you just told us we can't eat fried chicken anymore, but we can eat chicken tenders, except for when you're out at dinner somewhere. You can't have chicken tenders.
Light casual dining and lunches. And I
Light
would not
casual
classify.
dining.
I don't classify the place we ate at as light casual dining,
We ate at a bar.
but it's a nice bar.
If
you go to the Wild Turkey Room or whatever at the Angus Barn, that's a bar.
Wild Turkey Lounge.
Angus Barn is more restaurant than bar.
Yeah, we just went to this.
It has a
tavern.
dress code.
Yeah,
Ralph. I mean,
this place was not Hooters.
Don't be dogging on Hooters now. I love some Hooters.
Yeah,
See, it's different. It's a different atmosphere, though.
Andy, I would like one clarification. When you get wings, do you get boneless or bone in?
He gets
bone-in
the nuggets. He gets the nuggets.
You can get bone in is for chicken legs and chicken wings only, and I would assume for the ones with 2 bones, we can just throw those away.
Whoa!
Oh, yeah! Don't you dare!
Are you serious?
Flats.
They don't fit in the ranch cup.
Flats are way better than drumsticks.
Yes. You don't get all the tendons and shit when you try to. Oh my god, Andy! Flats are.
You guys just try to make eating hard.
There's an easy trick for flats. You just break the bones.
It still doesn't fit in the ranch.
Break the bones and then you can bite the chicken off.
That wasn't.
How do you get ranch on it?
My strategy with a flat is you bite, you stick your tongue between it, and then meat pops out. You flip it over, bite it, tear it off.
If you take one of the edge of the flats and you break it like this, pull it apart, then you can just bite the chicken off the bone and then the bone's left. That's the correct way to eat flats.
The drum fits in the ranch cup.
I don't want to.
I want more flats than drums.
I don't want to dip my wing in ranch, to be honest with you. A well done wing, if they're crispy enough, you don't need a ranch.
Nah, the ranch is half the fun.
No.
Dude, you talk about being a child, having to put ranch on everything. Ranch is kind of low-key disgusting.
If you go to Hooters, they're going to say ranch or blue cheese.
And you know what? I tell them neither.
Yeah, I just want the full flavor of the wing.
I want my ranch. That's half my experience.
Andy eats like a child.
That's like eating wings without ranch is like pizza without pepperoni.
No. Pepperoni is a staple of pizza.
So is ranch and wings. That's why they all come with ranch or blue cheese.
I just discard the ranch. Yeah, gosh, Andy, I just completely vehemently disagree with everything you're saying.
Yeah, me too.
Either way, you hate on flats. That's you're a heretic.
Andy's food opinions over the last few years have been awful. They used to be good, but it's been awful.
Andy, I think you guys are just stupid.
You live off of McDonald's and gas station burritos. I don't want to hear anything about cuisine from you, trucker Andy.
Eat either one of those things.
Okay,
Andy, we have exported fried chicken throughout the world. And people know it's good because you can go to any restaurant in Las Vegas and fried chicken's on the menu.
You know what I really think it is? I think Andy just hasn't admitted the fact yet that he's a hipster. Anything that becomes popular, he hates. And it doesn't matter if he used to like it. He's a hipster. It's Andy the hipster. He's a total hipster.
You know what? I got a point. Fried chicken. Does Chick-fil-A serve chicken with bones in it? No.
It's a sandwich.
Fast food restaurant.
But it is fried chicken.
It is the chicken place to go of all chicken places.
And if you've ever been to the original Chick-fil-A, of which I have, there's a very different menu in their original location because it has a diner. It's a diner, and they do have fried chicken. Yeah,
it's in Georgia. Yeah,
it's in the hateful Georgia.
Yeah, but that's only one of all of the rest of them.
Not even remotely true. There are 6 different locations that have the same diner set up as the original. So again, if you're going to talk about the Lord's Chicken Shack, you need to know what you're talking about.
I still think it is amazing. I think it's like 21 Chick-fil-A's in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. The one in Atlanta, they're all closed on Sundays.
On football game days.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You would think that, they could cook the Jesus chicken on Saturdays and bring in some heathens to serve it. It's neither here nor there. Andy, I mean, one of the great little-known facts of our area is that our Hardee's still serve fried chickens. And it's probably oh my goodness, it's probably the only thing keeping those Hardee's in business.
It's because I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a little bit of a fast food history nerd. And the reason that came about was because Hardee's has always been a burger chain, But in the 90s, they bought I think it was a Northeastern chain called Roy Rogers. So it's technically a Roy Rogers fried chicken recipe that when Hardee's made that push in the 90s to be a fried chicken joint, it's Roy Rogers fried chicken served at Hardee's.
Did not know that. Andy, I would be hard pressed to find one fast food chain that does not have some form of fried chicken.
Cookout?
Cookout has fried chicken.
No, they don't. They have chicken tenders.
It's still fried chicken.
Is it fried? And is it chicken?
It's fried chicken.
But fried chicken, every time I hear it, is referred to as a 2-piece, 3-piece dinners.
I mean, generally,
I don't understand why you would ever eat that.
But it's also fried chicken. Still fried chicken.
You eat your chicken strips that you love so much are all fried?
Yeah, fried.
Yes.
It is a breast, boneless breast, that is rolled in flour and some seasoning and then dropped in a vat of oil.
Now, for people out there, I'm curious. Do you like flats or drumsticks better? The fried chicken bad take was already bad enough, but the whole
it was treasonous. That was American treason.
Flats are better than drumsticks.
It's more work.
No, it's not.
Who knew you were so lazy that you had to have the least amount of work possible for you?
It's like people saying I don't like crab legs. It's too much work. It's like, no, you don't know how to eat them.
Well, no, actually,
I
kind of don't.
You pop out, you pull apart. It's very simple.
When there is food in front of me, I want to be able to shovel it down. I don't have to work to eat it.
Well, I can't help God made crabs.
I don't go out and kill my food. I buy it. It's faster. It's easier.
Especially if you can buy it from McDonald's or in burrito pre-packaging from a Flying J.
I like my burritos not pre-packaged.
Look, man, if we go to a seafood restaurant, Andy, and you pull out the little crimper things for crab legs, I'm immediately like,
I don't get crab legs. I'm a shrimp guy.
I like shrimp better too, but I will eat crab legs.
No, look, just like you can pound shrimp, you can pound crab legs. There's you got it. Bailey still has a picture of me when we went to Myrtle Beach, and me and her went to a pretty expensive seafood restaurant. And she ate like 2 plates, and I was like, no, this was like $100. I'm going to eat for the both of us. And I believe, no joke, it was the lady kept coming to pick my plates up because I was just on a mission to justify my whatever it was, $100 eat there.
Was that Captain George's?
Yes.
Yeah, place is expensive.
I walked out of there, and I think Bailey had to drive home. But I don't think I could move.
And it wasn't from the wiki.
No, I was like the girl off Willy Wonka, rolling out of there. So.
Yeah, I've been there before.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this before we move into the Wade Bowen record. Did you guys listen to any of the Morgan Wade EP? Came out on Friday.
No, I didn't get around to it yet.
I was trying to listen to the Vandaliers.
Vandaliers, yeah.
Yeah, Vandaliers. Yeah, I was trying to listen to that more. So
yeah, I saw the Morgan Wade thing came out, but when I read the title, I assumed it was just the acoustics and there was nothing new in it. And I tend to not like the acoustic version better.
You didn't read the text message that I sent accompanying the link.
Yeah, but that was like 2 days later. That was still a little bit too short of a notice.
Because just so everyone knows, in the Country and Cold Cans group chat, I sent the link and I said, there are 3 new songs on this. It's acoustic, but we have 3 new songs.
But then I was going to go listen to that, but that was shorter notice than Friday.
What? I sent that to you on Friday.
No, yeah. I don't think so.
Yeah, they were at the same time, literally.
Well, maybe say so.
Yeah. I just double checked because I couldn't remember. They're both sent at 5:24 p.m.
Well, it feels more short notice. I don't.
Andy's just making excuses because he didn't listen to it nor read the text.
Well, I prioritized the Wade Bowen one because you were like, "Let's discuss this one." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
I have a very finite amount of time.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Logan has given us
Wade on Monday, so
yeah. Logan has given us marching orders, so
yeah.
Like I dive into this one.
We should, and which brings us to Wade Bowen released a new record. Wade Bowen is a guy who's been putting out music now for roughly 20 years, and he is one of the more consistent and reliable artists that you can have in the Texas music scene. He's one of the bigger names in that scene. I've been a Wade Bowen fan for a while. I know Andy has. We saw him in concert actually in Raleigh, at the now defunct City Limits Saloon. There were a lot of cool people that came to that venue from the Texas scene. And
Didn't
Andy
Parker
and I,
play there?
Yeah, Parker played there too. Andy and I saw Wade Bowen and Dalton Domino in the same night. Andy, you remember we stumbled up to Wade Bowen. He was as nice as he could be, listening to our nonsense that night.
Great guy.
But fantastic dude. But like I said, he's a very reliable artist. Like at this point in his career, I'm not so sure that he's going to make our album of the year lists anytime soon, but you can't go wrong with a new Wade Bowen release. So he's got a new record out now called Somewhere Between the Secret and the Truth. And in this album, it's very much a Wade Bowen record. Sonically, you've got, a couple of boot stompers. You've got some of the more mainstream Texas country scene kind of sounding country. And then you've got some that's just, country is cornbread. Wade has a little bit of for everybody in the Texas country scene sonically on this record. And, he's got a couple of features on the record. He's got a song with Lori McKenna and one with Vince Gill. But it's definitely worth a listen or two or three. Like I said, I've been a big fan of his for a while. Did anything stick out to you guys, like overall with the record before we kind of get into the tracks?
I think that this record, to me, is Wade Bowen technically a good singer?
I think he is. Yes.
I don't know.
I think he is. Yes.
But I think so. This would be technically, and like his voice, he executes his voice extremely well. Yeah. He takes his vocal pocket and just knocks it out of the park every time. And this album, to me, kind of makes that stands out a little bit more than in the rest. Maybe it showcases that talent to me.
He can do a lot of things well vocally. I've always been a big fan of Wade's voice. But he can do those honky tonkin kind of, boot stomping songs. He can do the ballads very well. And then, like you said, Andy, like a good example using an old song is like when he has to go up higher in the register on a song like West Texas Rain. He's got the ability to do it. And I'm with you on that. I think his vocals kind of stood out on this album.
The craziest thing to me too is that live he sounds exactly the same as he does on Spotify.
Oh yeah,
he's one of the only people I know that's done that.
Yeah, Kyle, I know that you haven't had as much exposure to Wade Bowen as Andy and I have, because you didn't really go through your Texas country phase when back in college like me and Andy did, that started this whole thing with this podcast. You were still going through old Stained and Bowling for Soup tracks back then. So
fact check, true. Yeah.
So what was your takeaway, considering you haven't been headfirst into the Wade Bowen discography as much as we have?
Here's the thing about Wade Bowen. I don't know how he wasn't bigger in like the late 90s, early 2000s, because he sounded like everything that was on pop country radio in that time frame to me. I
think his first record was like 2002. He was a young guy around then. I just
don't know, because this dude sounds like I've listened to other songs before, and I was trying to tell you earlier. There's one song I really like. I cannot remember the name of it. But this guy sounds like somebody that could be on tour with Lone Star. He fits right in with that type of
that era of music.
I
think that for some of the reason, Kyle, why that probably is because the Texas.
Yeah.
The folks from Texas have a little bit of an understatement of an independent streak. And while I do believe that he had a run there of a few records where he was signed to a major label, he wasn't going to just be a shill for the big Nashville machine and just put out whatever they want to. Like Andy, you remember one of the first songs that I can't remember if it's one of the first songs we heard, but it was one that you and I both liked at the time. He put out a song called "Songs About Trucks."
Yeah, songs. But I was just thinking that he was pretty big, because Wade Bowen was one of the first people I had ever heard out of Texas. I didn't even know this until later, until once I got into it. Then I heard that song. I was like, I know this song.
Yeah,
them and Ragweed.
Yeah, them, Ragweed, and Randy Rogers Band. Randy Rogers Band and Wade were definitely probably the two from Texas that I was most familiar with before I really kind of got into Texas music. But at the same time, while he had a major label deal and was kind of like, I guess friendly with people in Nashville, he didn't have like number one hits, to Kyle's point. So like the casual fan was not going to know Wade Bowen's music as readily.
Yeah, I think the point I was mainly trying to get at is like to the we're all friends with mostly the same people. The people that aren't as high on half the people we talk about on the show. Wade Bowen is like a gateway drug. It's what he sounds like to me.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one of the things I was like, I just can't believe he never got way bigger than he did. Because maybe, wrong time, wrong place. Maybe he just didn't want to do it for whatever his reaning was.
Maybe he didn't take his ass on stage enough.
He didn't want to sell out. And all of that's, perfectly respectable. No. But like I said, I just think he kind of totes a line like, this is somebody I could see Jordan really liking.
I think so too, honestly.
Yeah. Not to knock Jordan, but Jordan's kind of like the gateway drug. If Jordan likes it, I think most people that we hang out with would like it.
Yeah, Jordan, like musically, he likes
to dip his toe in.
He likes better music than your average pop country radio listener.
He likes to dip his toe into the more the red dirt scene. He's not all the way in yet. But he likes to dip his toe in.
He probably wouldn't listen to Tyler Childers until Tyler Childers became popular and is being played at all the tailgates. He's not going to be like when Purgatory gets dropped a few years ago, being the guy that goes out and listens to it. But once it becomes popular, and
I'm sure he knows the words to Feathered
Indians.
Yeah. So I mean,
the Hold My Beer ones, I think, are probably the best for the gateways.
Yeah.
They're not too serious.
You talking about the acoustic albums?
Or like just the Randy and Wade projects.
Now, I will say this.
Those are countryer than their solo projects. So I don't know.
They're more like the you're drinking good time
That's true.
music though.
Yeah, I will say this. One thing I saw this weekend that I had to holler at my buddy who was really deep into the new metal, alternative rock, heavy metal at the same time, Buddy Tyler Nixon.
Mm-hmm.
He put up a story on Instagram of him playing Something in the Orange by Zach Bryan. And this man hates country music. Hates it.
I remember, I'm old enough to remember when I saw him putting up memes on his Instagram before, but talking about how he doesn't understand why people don't care about the technical prowess of metal guitar, but three chords in the truth of country music, and people are crying, saying it's so good. I remember him putting that up, and then I saw that.
I texted him about that. I texted him, and I was like, "How in the world are you out here doing this?" He was like, "Zach Bryan's the man." I was like, "Never in a million years."
That just shows you
heard that out of your mouth.
Oh yeah.
We talked about it last week, or it might have been 2 weeks ago. Me and him made so much fun of Justin Moore's Backwoods record.
Yeah.
On repeat. And it used to make Swing and Chase so mad. But, I mean, this guy, literally hates country music. Hates it. And he is putting up a video on his Instagram doing acoustic Something in the Orange. I know it's the major hit.
Yeah.
But it's still Zach Bryan.
And it's coming from a guy who hates country music, or at least country adjacent music, because Zach Bryan admittedly is not, straight up country music. Yeah, but it's still country enough for a guy that hates country music.
Yeah, he's the guy at the party that most people are like, yeah, I'll listen to really anything. It's your house, you play what you want. He's the guy that's like, no, don't play country music. I will leave, and I will pitch a hissy fit. And that's what he is. He's like, no, I don't want to listen to that. But yeah, I was dumbfounded when I saw that. I was like, "There's no way."
I was surprised by that. I meant to ask you about that because I saw that and I was like, "What in the world is going on?" Because, like I said, I just know how much he hates. Yeah,
yeah. I was just amazed. I was like, "Well, he has." I was stunned.
Not Tyler specifically, but I do have a bone to pick with those types of fans, though. Because I've talked about this when I've been over at my buddy Lavish's house for different parties and whatnot. I've talked about this with a couple of our friends who Lavish is one of those people that loves Same type of music Tyler does for the most part, but he listens to pretty much anything. But God knows if you put on country music, he gets like mad about it. And there are just so many people out there that they'll listen to anything, but they have this irrational hatred for country. And I'm not a big hip hop guy, admittedly, but I sit there and I listen to all these hip hop songs and sit there and listen to all these pop songs that people play at these parties, and I don't say a word. Right. Like I'm like, okay, I mean, like this is what the crowd wants to listen to. Fair enough. But the moment that somebody plays a country song, people just act like you just had insulted their family and spit in their mother's face. And I don't understand that.
I think I might know a little bit on this one, possibly. A lot of country people, like the country music fans, there's a group of country music fans that's country music only. If it's not, maybe some Southern rock. But other than that, don't want to hear it.
Yeah, but how is that any different from how people act towards country music? Because I argue the country music fans are more tolerant than
I think, though. But
some
that
of the
group
others.
of people is the same. But it's the same as I don't want to hear rock. I don't want to hear rap. I don't want to hear it. If it's not country music, don't want to hear it. It's the same, just opposite.
Yeah, but there aren't that many people like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very agreeable. If it's your party,
yeah,
I'm not going to be like, hey, man, can we not play this? I mean, it's your house, your party,
I'm
your
not
tailgate.
I'm not going to try to let them play Cody Jinks or make them play Cody Jinks when they're listening to, the Ric Flair drip. Go, woo, on a bitch. Kind of shit like that. Like,
now, we all say there's a time and a place because let's take Bailey, for example. She likes country music. But, when you're trying to get your groove on, as the young kids say, maybe not the time for Cody Jinks, It isn't like me and you. We listen to the same shit.
Depends on who you are.
It depends on who you are. Andy and I
might be totally off base, but
no,
from what I've learned, the female crowd is like, beat to dance, to dance to.
Yeah,
I want to listen to.
You're right,
Becky.
But my thing is
that 3 sheets to the wind.
Just the things that make them want to dance and party is just not the same for me.
But
they're not going to like the ones that make me want to dance and party. We're just not going to agree.
There's plenty of country music. There's plenty of country music out there though that fits that party mode. I mean, Andy, how many times did we have all these like whiskey drinking songs and they weren't like sad, slow songs? Everybody has this idea that country music is all sad and slow. I kicked my dog, oh, my truck broke down. No, there's like all kinds of songs about drinking cheap bourbon and Andy, what was that?
Pearl Snap shirts.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name. Cheap bourbon whiskey and Pearl Snap shirt.
Is it Jason Eady?
Two things. No, there are two things stay the same. Boland.
Jason Boland.
Jason Boland.
Yeah. Right. Right. First name, wrong last name from me. But yeah, I mean, there are some, shit kickers of country songs that you can play out there, and it used to make me and Andy want to open up a bottle of Jim Beam White Label by listening to it.
My thing too, I would call it the sad ones though. If you're at a tailgate, everybody else might not agree, but if you want to pound some whiskey, put some sad music on. We'll get hammered before the football game.
Yeah,
but everybody else just wasn't there for it.
Yeah, well, I do like what Logan was getting at with like the got a like bone to pick with like selectively picking stuff. You can go to any tailgate now, and kids are like White House Road. Yeah, this is a song about cocaine.
Everybody screams the we've been sniffing cocaine line, even though
you're like,
only half the people there have ever even seen cocaine in their life.
Yeah, no, that's not cocaine. That's baby powder. Yeah, that's everywhere now.
Yeah,
I do sympathize with that. If I hear someone playing White House Road, I'll just be like casually stop and be like, let's see what plays next. Oh yeah, Tyler Hubbard, 5'9".
Yeah.
That's not surprising.
It's like you'll hear that, Feathered Indians, you'll hear some Zach Bryan mixed in, and then they'll be back to Florida Georgia Line and Kane Brown. But you know what? I can get on board with that at a tailgate. Not saying that I'm going to play it from my speakers, but if they're mixing that stuff in with the shit that they listen to, that's a small step in the right direction.
You'll get some co-Wetzel.
Oh yeah,
you'll get some co.
Yeah, I mean, look, the independent crowd doesn't think that Co is very good. I understand their arguments.
Wrong.
They disagree.
They're wrong.
But I understand their arguments. Coetzel is frat boy music.
That's annoying. I'm sorry.
It is, though. If you've ever been to his
annoying.
concert, Andy can confirm from who goes to his crowd and Zach Bryan's crowd are the same concert going crowd.
Yeah, but that's annoying. That's the holier than thou, folks. Like, you're annoying.
Oh yeah, I mean, I get it's the pinkies out music.
Yeah,
crowd.
You're annoying. I'm sorry. Like
that, like Luke Combs is the worst thing ever.
Do they behave the same at a Coetzel show as at a Zach Bryan show as they do at a Coetzel show?
Slightly less on the rowdiness scale, but it's the same people.
Yeah. Look, I'm sorry. Like that annoys me. That's just really grinds my gears.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. But all right, so moving into the first track on Wade Bowen's new record, Somewhere Between the Secret and the Truth. So the first song of the album is Everything Has Your Memory. Solid song. It definitely has that more mainstream Texas music sound. I think it sounds like a hit on Texas regional radio. It's not going to be like the deepest song on the record. It's not going to be the one that the people that Kyle loves, the hardcore independent crowd. They're going to act like this song is not that good, but it is in my mind, I'd be surprised if this wasn't the single he sent to Texas regional radio.
I could see some other ones that would not surprise me either.
Yeah. No, when I say single, I mean like lead single.
You don't think? We'll get to it in a minute. Yeah, maybe.
I could see it. But I've got some other ones. Where you say you would be surprised if it's not this, I'm a little more even. I'll mention that when we get to them later on.
Yeah.
I'm a little more even on it.
Yeah, this sounds like the most radio-y.
Yeah, it does. I mean, from the melody of the song is a little. Well, the melody of the song is a little more rhythmic, like a lot of more modern, slicker country is. But like I said, it's definitely within that mainstream Texas music sound, not mainstream country music, as in like the pop country, but the mainstream Texas music sound.
It is Texas. I mean, through and through, it has that sound.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of like some Chris Colston type mainstream Texas music is what I mean. Not quite that far, but it is in that same vein. This isn't going to be confused with Jason Boland.
No, it reminds me. I guess this would be it may not make as much sense. This reminds me of what to me classic Texas is Randy and Wade. Yeah. Basically,
for people our age,
this is Randy and this song is a Randy and Wade that almost made a genre for us, basically.
Yeah. Because I mean, we're 28 years old. This is to people our age. This is the kind of the more classic Texas music kind of sound.
Yeah, not Pat Green and Robert Earl Keen. Not it's more Randy and Wade.
Randy and Wade were those guys for us.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, moving up next along on the track list, Burning Both Ends of the Bar. This was probably one of my favorite ones, honestly. I love songs like this. I like the imagery in this song about seeing an old flame from the other end of the bar. I love the George Strait reference from one of his songs from the 1980s. Throwback to last week's episode where we drafted George Strait's #1 singles. But it was where it says, trying not to stare too hard. With you at that you look good in love smile lighting up in the dark. And, the throwback to the You Look So Good in Love song from the 1980s that George Strait had. And then I do love towards the end of the song where he's like, if they die at all, old flames sure die hard. And it's just like seeing somebody that you used to be with in the corner booth from trying not to stare at them at the corner bar with their new love interest is burning up both ends of the bar because it's killing you, but they're also, kind of spicy over there on the other end.
That was going to be my question. Is it the literal title line? I get what's burning on one end of the bar, but I don't get what's burning at the other end of the bar. Now I follow.
Yeah. But this is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, I like this song. what does he say? Her hair looks great in neon with a brand new diamond on her hand,
Yeah.
or is it?
Or brand new diamond on her ring.
Okay. I couldn't tell what he was saying. It kind of like, I don't know if that was like some studio slickness there that they tried to pull, because it's kind of hard to tell what he says. But to me, this sounds like a country song you would hear on the radio in 2005.
Yeah, I could hear that.
Mhm.
I would agree with you on that.
I was really fond of this song because it just sounded like
something you would have listened to.
Yeah, and it's not reinventing the wheel; it's just putting a little bit of polish on the wheel that's already been well paid, well tested.
Andy can attest to this. This is a very Wade Bowen song.
Yeah.
But all right, then moving into Honky Tonk Roll. This is one of the two, as I call them, boot stompers on the record. This is my
barn burner
of the two. This is the one I like the least of the two Honky Tonk sounding songs. What did you guys think of it?
This is one of the ones I think I only heard once or twice. That this popped up like 2 hours ago. I was like, I don't think I've heard this one. I think one of y'all said that on the Zach Bryan thing. Like, don't know how I didn't hear this song.
I think it might have been me, yeah.
I think that happened to me too. It was 34 tracks.
That happened to me on this. Somehow this one got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah. You didn't miss a whole lot with this song. The title you kind of get what the song's about, and I guarantee you it's fun live. But
yeah, it was a boot stomper, but that was about all I got out of it.
I mean, the best part is like laying in bed with my boots still on. Like, yeah, you got tore up last night. We knew we could have assumed as much from the title,
right? All right, so then we have, following that, The Secret to This Town. This is another one of those things that I think Wade Bowen does incredibly well. Wade Bowen, when it comes to singing about small towns, you just believe Wade Bowen more than you do most people. He tends to have songs about small towns and small town life and people that live there without it being overly cheesy or just annoying in the way that a lot of pop country artists do.
No.
But when Wade Bowen sings this, it's believable. Like, and the one line before I throw it over to you, Kyle, that I do want to point out is like, I love the line where he's talking about the guy at the mechanic shop. He's painting the picture for you of people in this small town America, the mechanic shop on Main. You see his eyes light up when he talks about the play that took them to state. But then the line that really stuck out to me that I really liked that paints the picture for you is, some boys went to college, some went to war. He stayed around to make sure the keys crank. I love the way that's phrased. And like I said, I just think that Wade Bowen does small town songs incredibly well, and it's just so believable coming from him.
I'm a sucker for other songs that paint the small town life in a positive light, with all the drawbacks and whatnot. And I think we've had this conversation. There's a contingent of like the independent scene that just wants to just rail against.
Oh, they hate everything about where they grew up.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like those songs because you need the negative side too.
Yes, yeah, you need balance.
Yeah, you need balance, but at the same time,
I'm not a big fan of that because I don't have.
You want it to be a dirt road wonderland, then that's not really real. There's also opioid epidemics and people stealing and
yeah. I mean, here.
I think Kyle likes Justin Moore more than he wants to admit.
I like a lot of Justin Moore. Some of this shit is parody, in my opinion. It's just parody. Like, I feel like Weird Al could cover that and make a parody of some of the songs. No, I just haven't found one a pessimistic song that I vibe with yet. It's just,
that's fair.
Here's the way I would find a pessimistic song about small town. If you made it as a fun song, like, let's take, for example,
I was like, oh man, they're all stuck on meth.
Let's take 1985 by Bowling for Soup.
Here we go.
It's a parody of a woman that's still stuck in 1985.
What a better example would be Rednecker.
Yes, that would. If you don't, I found them in a funny way. Well, if you can poke fun at serious problems, but it isn't like you're just I hate every GD thing about it. Like, okay, bro, we get it.
Yeah, but now this is, I think, where we differ on this. I like the songs that are self-aware like that, and Rednecker by Hardy is a good example, Andy. But I don't think that that's really pointing out. That's not the truth, so to speak. It doesn't always need to be lighthearted and fun. Sometimes you need a scathing, truthful examination. Not saying I hate everything about my town. I agree with you on that. That gets tiresome, and it's also very trite. But I do think sometimes you need a truthful lens into the warts aspect of small town America, because it does exist. It shouldn't always just be everything is amazing. We gather around the bonfires on Friday nights with a girl and a sixer, because that's only part of the picture.
Yeah, but my whole thing is like, there's a lot of MFers that are on drugs.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of MFers in every other big city in America that are on drugs.
Oh yeah.
That's not like a unique issue.
It just depends on what type of drugs.
Yeah, it just depends on what type of issue. Like, I mean, I think like self-deprecation is like a way to, it's a really interesting angle to tackle certain issues.
Yeah.
Immediate criticism, I'm just like, I'm not really interested. Skip. Let's be honest. The song that it took me like 10 times to finally get through, was it New South by BJ Vaughn, American Aquarium? Better South. I was just annoyed as soon as I saw the title. I was like, I'm annoyed.
Just because,
I'm annoyed.
Look, that one kind of come across as being preachy, but sticking with BJ, I'm not. I see you that one, and I raise you Cape Fear River. And Andy, I'm sure you can agree that that's a good song. Cape Fear River speaks about the darker side of in his case Reidsville, North Carolina, but it does it in a way that's not being preachy in a way that Better South kind of did.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when I heard that, as soon as I saw the title, I was like, "Yep, I know BJ's opinions." Skip. I don't even want to listen to it.
Yeah, you work the grill with Pete's Burgers and more.
I mean, that's kind of like. I think you can get across to a lot more people if you do it in a clever way and not a preachy way.
Or if he just did a song like the message of Better South isn't necessarily inherently like bad. It's his approach that he took, where that one came across as being preachy. So I get what you're saying on that, but I just don't think that is indicative of every single song that has a lens into small town America on the negative side. I think I'm not saying that you are, but I think that Cape Fear River is a better example of, the kind of the dead end aspect that a lot of people feel. And it's a valid perception and a valid feeling that people have growing up in those towns. Not everyone grows up in small towns and thinks this place is heaven and I want to stay here my whole life.
Well, I don't think people, but I don't think anywhere's heaven.
No, fuck no. Most places fucking suck. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, even the closest thing in America, I think that is heaven is probably Maggie Valley, North Carolina, and there's an ass load of problems with that. So
I love Carolina Beach, and there's a lot of shit going on there that you don't want to get messed up with.
Oh yeah, well, I can always tell when people get mandatory vacations for 6 weeks to Carolina Beach. They're moving to Wilmington for 12 weeks. Well, I know what happened to you. I mean, like I said, there's always there's no perfect place.
No, there's not.
There's no perfect place in the world.
I'm a little bit more split, I guess, when it comes. I'm maybe more just all over the board. To Logan's point, I think Cape Fear River is more of a banger, but I think Chris Knight does it as well, is beyond better than anybody else.
Agree.
For painting a really, because his isn't really a negative or a positive. It's just he can write a song. It's just what it is, and he just writes the songs about it and just kill. I mean, it's just fantastic. Yeah. I also, though, have come more around to the way the Frat Pack does it. The way that like Ern, Hardy, and Wallen do small town songs, I like that far more than the way Justin Moore does it.
I like the way Hardy does it. I wouldn't necessarily say always about Wallen, because Wallen is definitely, he's the biggest star in the genre, arguably this side of Luke Combs, maybe, for a reason. And that's because his isn't going to be as, I think he has some talent, but I don't think he's as clever of a songwriter as Hardy is. You get what I'm saying?
Well, here's the thing about Rednecker if someone's like, this song sucks, I'm like, yeah, it's a parody. If somebody's like,
it's a self-aware song.
Yeah, I was like, it's kind of parody of themselves. Someone's like, this song's a banger. I'm like, yeah, but it's a parody.
Yeah.
Either way, it works, and that's kind of like that's kind of. I'm not saying every song has to be a parody, but I think there's a clever way to go about things where you don't come off as like a jackass.
Well, there's a way to do it without being preachy, but I just don't think that everything negative needs to be clever, funny, or satirical. I think that sometimes you need those guys that are just having their honest assessment of a situation. But I agree. Where I'm 100% with you, Kyle, is I hate when artists get preachy because, like, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you not to. Speak your mind, and if you feel that strongly, have at it, there, Hoss. But at the same time, I hate preachy shit, and I don't care if I agree with it or not. I hate preachy shit.
Yeah, here's where, as we all know, I'm an Aaron Lewis stan. But but that song he did, like
the political song.
Yeah, let's face it. It was preachy.
Oh,
and we talked about it on this
in your face, obnoxiously.
Yeah, preachy. And we talked about it on this podcast, and we were like, I was like, I don't really like that song. It's kind of annoying.
I haven't listened to it since.
I haven't either.
It's pretty annoying, but I just, goes both ways. Like,
it does.
It's not his finest song by any means. But
I think that's where, and I'm not trying to get into politics with this, obviously.
Neither am I, but
I think that's where the Twitter music crowd likes to give more credence to left-wing artists than they do right-wing artists. And some of that is sometimes earned because, you have Kid Rock and Toby Keith doing,
boot up your ass. It's the American way.
Like knuckle dragging shit. And then you have like Aaron Lewis, who just, his idea of a political song is he just goes overboard. I think Andy, you can attest to this. The left-wing analogy of what Aaron Lewis did is probably that, what's his name? Will Hogue record. That just was over the top, in your face, obnoxiously political, to the point that I was just like, I like your music, dude, but I'm not going to listen to this one because it's the same reason I'm not going to listen to Aaron Lewis's trash song he put out. It's just in your face. Like, you either agree with me or you're a fucking idiot or you're an awful person. And I'm just like, dude, I don't care enough for you to be trying to preach to me about this.
Somehow we got on small towns into politics. But
everything's political in 2022. Unfortunately.
Yeah. So like I said, it's fine. I don't, I got a soft side for optimistic views of small town America.
Well, let's circle it back to Wade Bowen here. Wade Bowen does a realistic, like, positive version of small town songs a lot. And like I said, he's very believable and authentic when he does it, which I think I appreciate.
Yes. Well said.
All right. So moving right along from our sidebar we took on small town songs, both good and bad. You've got If You Don't Miss Me, and I think this is quintessential classic Wade Bowen. I love these types of songs where it's like he said, if giving all I got hadn't changed your mind, then why even try? So basically, if I've put all this effort in and you don't you don't even miss me when I'm gone. Like, if it isn't going to work, just pack your bags and get the hell out. This is like PG Co-Wetzel. What do you think, Andy?
Yeah, it's not my favorite song on the album. I like the sound of this. Is one of those that, to me, this album did have a fair amount of. I don't dislike this sound of Wade Bowen, but I want sad songs that sound like this from Wade Bowen, right. not sad songs.
This kind of is a sad song, though.
Yeah,
this isn't the relationship isn't working.
I want the why don't you love me? Why can't you love me? Sad. I want the rip your heart out. Sad. For this sound, that's what I want.
Fair enough.
I'm not a huge fan of that, like this sounding in general.
Yeah.
I need the specific lyrical context for it to work for me.
Yeah. Kyle, you have any thoughts on that before we move to the next song?
I tend to agree with Andy a lot.
All right, so you hate fried chicken.
Now we're getting somewhere.
So next up, like I said, I've mentioned her to you guys both on the podcast and off the podcast, but this is this next one is Beautiful World. It's featuring Lori McKenna. Lori McKenna, if you don't know Lori McKenna, you're fucking up because you need to know Lori McKenna. Lori McKenna is one of the best songwriters in country music right now. She co-writes with a lot of people. She co-wrote this with Wade Bowen, but Lori McKenna, for you mainstream, more leaning fans, she wrote Humble and Kind and was the original like singer of that Tim McGraw had a big hit with. She wrote that one by herself. And Lori McKenna just has this, when you hear her vocals, it's like you're listening. It doesn't just sound like a female singer. It sounds like you're listening from the perspective of a mother. And it's like this motherly wisdom whenever if you listen to her, like her most recent record she put out. Lori McKenna is a badass and is fantastic. So I can't recommend her highly enough. But this song is kind of a wisdom song that's right in her wheelhouse. I think that, the line that probably resonated with me the most as a confessed mama's boy is, don't forget to call your mom because she makes things seem better. And I do think that there's something to that special relationship people have with their mothers. And that line coming from Lori McKenna in this song really struck a chord with me. But this song really is just about finding the beauty in life's imperfections. We got to see the good and the bad. So do you guys, I know Andy, this probably isn't your thing, but what'd you think of this song?
Yeah, the song is written the way I thought. I was like, this is literally what I said to myself was, this is a great song. It is, how can't you like the writing of this song?
Right.
But I wish the instrumentation was different. that's the I just wish the writing. I love the writing of this song, but I just wish it sounded different.
Kyle,
this is the second best song on the album.
Fantastic song.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. My favorite verse is the next to last one where, goodbye kiss in the driveway, God laughing at the plans you made, saying I love you for the first time. God, and Lauren, is it Lauren or Lori?
Lori.
Yeah, Lori.
Good Lord, Lori.
Dude, yeah, Turnpike reference there. I think she's better than Wade Bowen on the song.
I
agree with you. Yeah,
I think Wade would probably say that too.
Yeah, she's just phenomenal, man. This song is just a banger.
Lori McKenna is a badass. Like what is it? You say you stand stained. I stand Lori McKenna.
Oh yeah, I'm a stained stan. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't change anything about this song because I feel like it just fits her voice like to perfection.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's phenomenal through and through.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, so good.
All right, so moving right into the second boot stomper on the record, we have She's Driving Me Crazy, and I ain't gonna lie, Andy, this shit had me hooked from the very first fucking line where he said,
whiskey.
I'm drunk on more than just whiskey. And from that point forward, I didn't give a damn what he said the rest of the song. I was just like, with the sonics of the song and then that being the opening line, I was just like, a 21-year-old me and a 21-year-old Andy would have drank some Jim Beam listening to this son of a gun.
Yeah, pretty much just almost exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking more about 23, but yeah, exactly.
This is a shit kicker in a good way.
Yeah, I would get hyped hearing this. This would be a barn burner.
Oh, yeah. All right, so moving into Knowing Me Like I Do. This is probably one of my favorites on the album, too. This is definitely veers into that mainstream Texas kind of country sound sonically, both with the melody and like the instrumentation. I like songs like this. I'm not going to sit here and act like this song is, as Kyle said earlier, reinventing the wheel. It's it is what it is. But I like songs like this where it's just like it opens it up with him saying, I'll take care of me, you'll take care of you. But then in the chorus, he's like, knowing me like I do, I'll probably go crazy without you, baby, for a while. Then it's just the aftermath of the breakup. And then you find out that I'm still not over you yet. I might go crazy for a little while, but eventually I'm going to be okay kind of situation.
I think this was one of the ones I potentially could see this being a single.
Yeah,
this or the other one. It's to me, it wouldn't shock me either way. I like to me, it's more of like the realness of the song lyrically is it's refreshing, I guess, almost. It's super realistic. It's not over the top any other direction. It's not everything's great, everything's horrible. It's just almost sounds like exactly like what would happen. It's the realism of it is very refreshing.
It's very real. And to your point, to back that up, that underscores that is like in the first verse, he's talking about, I may go home and see my folks, something that you tend to would do in a situation where you have your heart broken, or you call up a couple of buddies and have a weekend down on the coast. Like you said, it's not over the top. It's just real.
It's like basic, but in a extremely good way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard to write something so realistic that's not boring or bad because it's so basic.
Or end up being really cliche about it.
Yeah, it's done extremely. I think it's very well written. I think this is one of the best songs on the album lyrically because of that aspect of it.
Yeah. Kyle?
It was fine. This is where it kind of samey to me. It got kind of samey. It wasn't that much different to a couple of other songs down the list. It was like three. I feel like this song's album placement is poor.
Maybe it is. It's 8 on the track list out of 12. So
yeah, and it gets and it gets put right before a song that's better than it. About
I can agree with that, and we'll transition into "It's Gonna Hurt." This is just about truth being in song, man. Like. Yeah, I'll let you give your thoughts first, since it seems like you like this one.
Well, I mean, the last time I went through a breakup, I was 15. So, I really haven't been. I haven't had an adult breakup in my entire life. But I can imagine what it's like, and the hook of the song is just phenomenal. It's gonna hurt. Then it don't.
You're gonna cry until you won't.
Yeah, I mean, like Andy said, it's so simple but so damn good. I mean, it's nothing extravagant, and if it ain't, it's just.
But again, it's authentic and real.
It's authentic, and it's just so good because it's so simple.
And then the line that kind of fits in that with that too, Kyle, is like, when your heart gets torn in two, there ain't a damn thing you can do.
I think the better line is "till it does," and damn, it's rough. I mean, like I said, I've never had an adult breakup. I've never really experienced it, but
I kind of chuckled at the line where it says, "Go ahead."
No, I said I can only sympathize with what it feels like, and simplicity is something that a lot of people don't do well, and this song just does it through and through phenomenally.
Agree.
It's hard to do.
It is hard to do.
It is. I agree. Because, I used to write papers all the time in college, and I would just be like, this word works, but what if I just make it better? And you're like, no, I don't need to make it better. The word works just fine.
Yeah.
The song lacked all the sources.
The line that made me kind of chuckle a little bit was where it was, in the part of the song where he's saying that people are telling you that time's going to, heal the wounds, but then it's like your friends are relieved that it's you instead of them.
Yeah. That was my favorite line in the song.
It's a funny line, but it's not meant to be like hilarious, but it's a funny line because in some ways it's kind of true. Like when you're going through some shit, like your friends don't want you to be hurt and they feel for you, but at the same time, in the back of their mind, they're probably like, kind of glad it's
better
not
him
me.
Than me.
To me, it was like they're telling you everything's going to be good, and they're like they also are kind of lying to you because they're like, yeah, it's gonna be it's good, yeah, you'll be fine. It ain't no big deal, and they're like, yeah, I'm kind of glad it's not me though, because what I'm saying right now is not all that true.
Yeah, it's easy to give that advice when you're on the outside looking in versus the one going through the storm.
Yeah, you don't need that girl. But I can't hang out.
Yeah, fuck that bitch.
I got a date Friday night, man. Sorry, I can't hang out.
Yeah,
So
this one though too was one of the ones that I do wish this one sounded different.
See, I don't know if I agree on this one. This one's done the way it should.
Yeah, it is just a bummer jam.
Because if you were to try to put more production on this, it runs the risk of turning into the song that was preceding it on the track list that Andy, that you and I liked.
I didn't
knowing me like I do.
Because because my main complaint with that song is they stuck it right before the song, and it's the same song but better.
Yeah, I would have been fine maybe even if they did less production. It's just different than this. I don't know what, but I wish it was different. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the sound of this one.
I love the sound of this one. It's so good.
It's almost, I don't like the way Wade sings the song. It's not that it's bad. It's just I would much prefer something different. And if the song sounded different, he would sing it different. I guess is more what I want. But we can't all have what we want.
Yeah, that's what the Rolling Stones said. All right, so moving into the last 3 songs on the album, you have Say Goodbye. This song is fine. I love the way it sounds sonically. I love the melody. I love the production on it. But I don't, it's not a bad song. It's just like, it's just kind of like, why is it hard for people to say goodbye? You know, I wish you hated me somehow. It says at one point during the song. It's just a song about how hard it is for people to let go of something that they're familiar with, something they're comfortable with. It's just, I think Andy, I kind of have the opposite of what you've had on some of these others, or maybe the same if I'm misremembering, but I loved the way this song sounds and I love the melody, but you know, the lyrics don't necessarily hit home with me.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't hit. It doesn't hit me.
This is the song I was, one of the ones I was talking about. I don't even know what this song's about, but the way he sings the words, whatever they are, is spot on perfect. I wish one of the songs I like written better, I liked as much as the way I like this one sounds.
Yeah.
The way he sings the verses of this is just killer. Don't even know what he's even talking about, but he's singing them words good, whatever they are.
He's singing them words good. Any thoughts?
Poor placement in the album.
Kyle's like, I'm making a pitch to be Wade Bowen's album.
It's 3 songs almost about the same thing, and they're back to back to back. And the best one is in between the 2. And I'm just like, if it's on shuffle, it's not that bad. But when you listen to the album straight through, you're like, damn, another song. Okay, let's go.
I only listened to it in order once. I've been on shuffle since the first listen. This one stood out to me the most on the first. The way he sings the song, this is my favorite on the album.
I agree with that part of it, but it's just like comes right after 2 others that are almost about the same subject matter, and I'm just like, okay.
I think this is a little different subject matter wise, but
maybe
he should have thrown this. He should have thrown this before one of the boot stompers. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Because, you need the ups and downs. And, it's just all not downhill in a negative sense, but, it's all, there's no pick me up.
He wants some rise like Barney Stinson's Get Psych mix.
Yeah. I think maybe some of the what you're saying with the album placement, because there's an example still coming. I think the album may be just more similar than it is different. Because if you start rearranging there's some other songs that are going to be very similar back to back if you rearrange it from this order.
It's kind of like one of the criticisms we give to like how Riley Green sequences his stuff, and we're just like, well, but at the end of the day, like when we look at it, we're kind of like, well, it is kind of similar because Riley's
but with Riley Green though, this EP is similar to the last one because it's literally the same song.
On his last EP, he did have 2 songs that were the exact same. They're not the exact same, but they're same subject matter, kind of. So,
but. All right, so next to last, we have a collaboration with Vince Gill. Vince Gill's doing backup harmonies, and then he has a verse of his own towards the end of the song, but it's called a guitar, a singer, and a song. I love the opening part of where he's like, a guitar won't change the world, but there's nights where I feel like it has. It's just, a song about the power of music and how somewhere in these chords lies the truth. It's just about how a troubadour's life and how the music grabs them and it just won't let them go. The song, it's the power of a song for both the listener and but in this song in particular, it's about the guy making the music, the guy that's pouring his heart, putting his misery on display, as Gary Allan would say.
Oh, Vince Gill was older than he was.
I think he's around her parents' age.
Yeah, I thought he was a lot older than that, but I was wrong. He's 65, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was in his upper 70s for some reason. But so I was surprised he was even on the record. I was like, damn, I thought he was way too old. But never mind, I was wrong.
I like this song. I like songs like this, though. I mean, it's a song about songs, but it's not a song about songs in the way that like Old Dominion does song about songs. It's a song about the power of songs and the kind of grip it has on you.
I didn't really care about the song. So Andy,
yeah, I'm a little bit with Kyle. I do like. I either love it or don't care, and this is a don't care. The line that you said, that opening line, was just immediately to me was don't care, and it's not that I don't like this type of song. It just did not hit me in the slightest on it.
I think that it's probably one of those songs that if you're an artist like Wade Bowen is, it probably has more meaning to them than it does the listener.
I could see the thing that gets me is the one, for an example, one that I really like is was "Sound of a Million Dreams" by David Nail.
Yeah.
Very similar, but I like that and I don't like this. That it's it either hits or it don't, and it just
don't
didn't
hit for you.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap things up with the 12th and final track, the title track of the record, Somewhere Between a Secret and the Truth. I think this song is a very well-written song, and I love the story behind it, about just how easy it is to get into a bad situation and possibly hurt your loved ones. You know, the secret being the possible affair, and how little things that you may not realize that you're doing can lead you down that road, but the truth being your significant other. It says somewhere between the secret and the truth is a choice you make that you just can't undo. The fine line between a stranger's touch and losing you is somewhere between the secret and the truth. I really liked the chorus in this song. I liked the story in it. And I did find it kind of an interesting twist towards the end where he didn't end up cheating on his spouse. And it was just like, he left her there, bought her one more drink, left her there. And because, he was going to come home, didn't want to lose his love of his life. So I thought I appreciated this song. I thought that it had a different ending than what I was expecting, because I was expecting him to get a hotel key and with a room with a view of the parking lot at some Roach Motel and go to town with this this hussy that he meets at the bar ripping shots.
It's almost as hilarious. I think this is a great written song, but I don't like the story of it because
Andy wanted him to cheat.
to quote Chris Knight, I want to just watch the world burn. But go to however he says, wherever the bridge is, where he lights the bridge on fire and then just wonder, how am I going to get back? Yeah, basically
was that it? Yeah. It ain't easy being me, I think. Yeah.
Basically where he just goes around fucking everything up for himself and he even knows it. I just wanted the guy to fuck everything up, or if you don't fuck everything up, I don't see the point in the song.
And he's like, damn it, he didn't ruin his life by cheating on his wife.
I wanted him to ruin his life. Be honest. That's what I wanted. And don't quote Kyle from the last one, if you ain't ruining your life on this song, I don't care.
This song is an absolute goddamn banger. It's the best song on the record. See why he named it that.
Yeah.
The part that just stuck with me is I think it's the third verse. Yeah, in between. Shit, hold on, I just had it. Let me pull it back up. In between where I was and where I should have been is a good man's prayer and a lonely midnight sin, but there's no way to justify or ever make amends. In between somewhere I was and where I should have been. I mean, he should have been at home with his wife, and he's contemplating what he's doing right now. Songs are a really profound example of like responsibility
and how easy it is to get caught
up, and how temptation,
situation.
and how temptation is just so easy, but the long-term consequences of just a split-second temptation just can ruin so much. And I know Andy loves songs that just turn themselves on their heads or have that quick turn of phrase or just do a complete 180. This song does a complete 180 because the whole time I was listening to it, I was like, this is a song about him fucking up.
He was doing some kind of. You thought he was going to be doing some kind of fucking.
I mean, yeah. But I mean, the whole beginning of the song, I was like, yep, this is a regretful song. He's made a terrible mistake. And then, last verse where he doesn't. And I was like, you know what? You got me. 100%.
And you
took me for a ride, and you got me.
That's how I felt about it too.
Yep, you took me for a ride, and I was fooled.
To your point about the the double use of the phrase "the secret" too, it's like like in there, but when he's describing the situation where he's like, "The secret is when I touched the small of her back," and it's like about like that's like the secret on how he was able to schmooze this young lass at the bar, and then then also the secret being like. He almost cheated on his wife, so I guess he's not going to run home and be like, "Hey, baby, almost fucked up tonight."
Well, it even starts from the first verse. The secret was that he was even at the bar drinking that night.
Yeah,
he wasn't even. He didn't even tell her he was there.
Nah.
So the whole story is built off of a secret / lie, depending on how you look at it. And because I like to be that Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's like pointing to the TV. And you're like, I was like, yep, he cheated on his wife. Yep, he did. And then he didn't. And I was like, oh. Shit,
and he's like, damn it, this guy has morals.
I would rather them fucked her on the bar, robbed it, and then burned the bitch to the ground.
You're a sadistic bastard, Andy.
Some people just like to watch the world burn. And I'm one of them.
Andy wanted him walking out the door and then been like, so what was her name? I don't know, and I don't care. Doesn't matter.
This song is so good just because it took me for a ride.
Yeah. It's a very well-written song.
Yes.
It is well-written. I will say that.
Yeah, it's the best song by a couple football field links.
It's a good title track. Good title track. Yeah. I mean, like I said,
so damn good.
Overall, this record is exactly what you expect, especially in late career Wade Bowen. He's a reliable artist, and it's just, what did I text you guys? It's a solid Wade Bowen album. And that's kind of like, this isn't going to be on my short list for album of the year, but it's an enjoyable listen that I would listen to a lot of these songs again. It's not like it's a one-time kind of thing.
That last song will probably make an honorable mention for me.
And like song of the year type stuff.
Yes, it probably won't make. I have to go back through my list, but it'll certainly get an honorable mention, unless some new stuff comes out, just blows the doors off. But
yeah, but that's Wade Bowen, somewhere between the secret and the truth. Like I said, solid record overall. It gets a recommendation from me. Definitely check out Lori McKenna while you're at it. You won't be disappointed if you like good songwriting and. I love her voice as well. So
retweet,
check her out as well. Be sure to check out the countryandcoldcans.com/shop. Plenty of t-shirts out there for you folks. Plenty of t-shirts. We've got ones with our logo. We've got some with the Cold Cans Mountain. We've got the Cold Cans. They kind of look like certain labels that we're not going to specifically say which labels, but once you see it, you know what it is. And we've got some Bad Day to Be a Beer shirts. We've got some, if you don't like the University of Texas, like I don't, we've got some Horns Down shirts. Just check out the merch in the shop. It's countryandcoldcans.com/shop. Be sure to give us 5 stars and a great review on all the podcast apps, Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Stitcher, Google Podcasts. Helps us out in the algorithm. Follow us on all the social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. You know where to find us, be able to share the podcast with everybody. And one last plug, check out, be on the lookout this week. It's tailgate season at the Cold Cans Network. And me and Jordan are having the football pod. It's going to be coming out this week. I had a little bit of a COVID issue last week that delayed us 1 week, but we're ready to rock and roll tomorrow night recording this. So be sure to check out tailgate season for the Cold Cans Network college football analysis with the new AP poll coming out. But like I said, this is Country and Cold Cans with Bad Take Andy, who hates fried chicken. This week,
chicken tenders for life.
Better Take Kyle, presented by the Cold Cans Network.
# great take Kyle.
We'll see you next time.